Welcome to Polarion. When you first arrive at your Polarion portal, you'll need to enter your username and password. If you don't have an account yet, you can create one for yourself if your admins have enabled self-registration. On your first login, you're taken to the home page of the portal. Now what you see here is the default for a new installation. It's pretty typical to change this page and make it relevant for your organization, so what you see when you log in may not be what you see here. The first thing you'll probably want to do is open a project. To do that, click on this drop-down, take this menu option, then you locate the project in this dialog and click on it. Keep in mind that the project might be inside a project group, in which case you expand the green group folder and then click on the project. Now that our sample project is open, let's find our way around. This panel on the left is for navigation. It's pretty simple on the surface, but there's a lot here. Starting at the top left, this icon switches to the Tools view of the panel. Think of it as a drawer where you keep tools handy that you don't need all the time. Let's run down it real quickly. Logout is just that. My Account takes you to your user profile page. This is where you can change your password or email address or set your avatar. And in some products, you can also set up your personal work schedule for the LivePlan project planning engine. Shortcuts, we'll talk more about them later. Administration appears only if you have administrator permissions, and it takes you into the administration area of Polarion, which we won't go into here. Help launches the online help system in a new browser tab or window. View is worth a quick mention. Here you can change what the user interface shows you. User interface views present different levels of information up front, getting less needed info out of your way. By default, there are 2 interface views, but for some products, your admins can configure more. Down at the bottom are some fairly self-explanatory links and some info about your Polarion system, which you might need if you ever need to request tech support. Okay, so much for Navigation Tools view. We get out the same way we got in, and now we're back to the main or Topics view. The star icon is again related to shortcuts, more on that coming up. The Polarion icon is a link back to the portal homepage. This label shows you what project you're in, and we saw earlier that you can open projects from here. This is where you go to create a new project too, if you have permissions to do that. You won't see the menu item if you don't. Search is pretty self-explanatory. You can search just in the project or search the whole portal. Play with it in the demo project to see how it works and maybe check the help. The next bit of this panel is personal. It tells you who you are in case it's early Monday morning and you're not sure, and shows your avatar image, which you can set up in your user profile. The My Polarion link leads to your personal dashboard or home page. That's a subject for another video. Just know for now that it's a page you can set up any way you want to show any kind of info that's useful for your work right now. Okay, so back to navigation. The home link takes you back to the home page of the project you've got open. This is the home page of our sample project. Continuing down the navigation panel, we now get to the real interesting stuff. This first topic section is called Favorite Shortcuts or just Favorites. These are shortcuts into the content of your project. The default links are from the project template and you don't have to keep them. Remember, manage shortcuts in the Tools view? Use that to get rid of any favorites you no longer need or want. Adding new favorites is quick and easy. Navigate to whatever it is you want a shortcut to. Let's say I want this traceability report. I go to it, and once I'm there, I can favorite it with the star icon up here. I can even choose my own icon for it for the panel. And now this report is up top, and I can get to it fast. The next section shows all the Polarion feature topics available to you. It's collapsed in the current interface view, the one called Default. After expanding it, what topics you see is controlled first by the Polarion product license you're using, and second by the interface view you have selected. If I had the Advanced view selected, we would see more feature topics here. The various topics are described in Help, and you can explore them on your own in the demo project. Notice this pin icon on the topics. If you pin a topic, it remains visible when the topic selection is collapsed. It's just one more way you can customize navigation to suit yourself. The last 3 items are different levels of shortcuts, which we mentioned earlier. The global shortcuts are shared by all users of the portal and are set up by the portal administrator. Project shortcuts are shared by all users of this project and are set up by project administrators and/or project users. User shortcuts are your personal shortcuts. Now don't confuse these with favorites. The difference is in the scope. Favorites are accessible only when you have this project open and lead only to content in this project. Your user shortcuts are accessible to you anywhere you may be working in the portal, and they can lead to content anywhere. Handy if you have to flip between, say, documents in several projects. That pretty well covers navigation. Let's finish up with a look at two of the most commonly used feature topics: Documents in Wiki and Work Items. The Documents in Wiki area contains documents and wiki pages, but you knew that. Looking at a document, it's pretty straightforward. Just a couple of things worth mentioning. This gear icon, wherever you see it on toolbars, leads to a menu of operations applicable for the content and available with your product license. If we move over to the right, several things are good to know about. The toggle for the document sidebar, the toggle for document history, the menu of work item views, a refresh control, and context level, help, and possibly other operations depending on what you're looking at. Looking now at the work items topic, let's highlight a few things you may need to find. Here on the Table Views toolbar, this drop-down lets you create a new work item of any type configured for your project. Again, the gear leads to applicable operations. Next is work item querying. You can either type a Lucene query, select a saved query, or construct a query with the graphical query builder. The other fields set the scope of the query. On the far right, as we saw for documents, you can select the work item view. What's available here depends on your product license. The rightmost drop-down menu has actions applicable to the current view and a help link, as we saw before. Let's finish up this introductory tour by looking at a few items on the work item form. The Edit button here on the left puts the whole work item form into edit mode, but you probably won't need it too often as most data fields are editable in place. If you don't have permission to edit work items, the button will be disabled. Once again, here's our gear icon with operations and actions, this time for the work item. Moving over to the far right, there are some quick scrolls to comments, links, and attachments. There's a toggle for the light form, which, as you see, hides some less frequently needed fields. Again, there's a history toggle, this time for the history of the work item. And finally, some more context-sensitive links. Looking down the form, you see most sections are collapsed. They would be expanded if they contained any data. You click on the pencil icon to expand the section header and show the data entry fields and actions. We hope this brief introduction will get you going with your own Polarion portal. Don't forget that we have more tutorial videos. Start with the ones that cover things that you most want to know about. Thanks for watching, and once again, welcome to Polarion.